Hi Adrienne, welcome to Thinker
Yes,
Space.
thank you.
So you are a maker at heart and at work as well, and you used to visit spaces and everything. Then you're the first time here. So in general, how do you feel about maker spaces and having a space for youth to come together and build something together?
So, well, first, when I walked in, the first reaction was like, oh my gosh, so cool. And I think that's also really important that when someone comes in, they feel inspired. And I think definitely when I walked in here, it feels like a new space or like something exciting is happening. And then when we walked in there and then all the energy started and people were showing what they were working on, I think it feels like, okay, something's happening, something's buzzing, and there are a lot of people who care and want to do something. And about having makers spaces, so because I mostly work in farming, agriculture, landscape, and then some sustainable architecture, we're always problem solving and we're always on a tight budget and we always have a deadline and we always have like monsoon coming. And so there's always a need for people to be creative and be able to figure something out. And I feel like there is a lack of those spaces where young people can come together, solve a problem, solve an urgent problem for people who need it. So when I come here, I'm just like thinking all the questions I have, all the things I want to ask you guys to help us with.
So we were really wondering, how do you design a space that meant for conversations, that meant for collaboration, and we don't know where to look at.
Right. So
how do you do that?
I think I always think about what I liked, and I always think about what I liked even when I was little, right? And I think finding spaces that feel like secret or cove or, you know, like a little nook you can go to or a cubby or some kind of interesting space that gets you out of the normal feeling of work, I think is where a lot of conversations can happen. So I don't know, I would make like a secret sitting area. I would put some big plants in there, you know, and just create a space where people can come together that feels relaxing and safe.
Other thing I was wondering, like the behavior, no? So I believe that's possible to create or nudge behaviors, but I don't know how.
Yeah,
but what are some thoughts?
I think
Ideally, we want more people to have interactions and
yeah.
Then some thoughts
For me, it's like also getting people to work on something together, maybe for the space. So like obviously an easy one for me is if there's a garden or a kitchen garden or something that requires you to break out of your world and come and maybe interact with somebody different in doing something that's for the space. And then that also maybe you design it in a way that it always has problems. So people always have to pull. I can design you a garden that's always dying, and then people have to figure out, and then maybe they pull from their background or their own experience of what they're working on, some way to problem solve.
When you start designing, say, assume like a co-living home or something, what would be few things that would be top of your priority?
Yeah, so actually one of the processes we follow is we really get people to try to not think about like, I want this. Like you don't say, I want a kitchen, right? You try to break it out to like, what are your needs? Okay, I need a space where food can be made. Or I need a space where I can relax. You know, instead of saying I need a sofa. So we try to really first break people out of like being specific about any one thing and more thinking of the experience they want. And then the needs that they have. And then when we're looking at existing spaces, we do a lot of like going around. We do a workshop where you go around with Post-its and you mark everything that you like and everything that you wish was different. And then that starts conversation where people, maybe you don't know that something's bothering somebody, or maybe you don't realize that there's a beloved part of the space. And then you can lean into enhancing that or changing it.